Hey everyone, you are watching the Wise Coffee Chat Show. Super excited to be here with you guys. So, I am your host, Jennifer Sanchez, and we are definitely excited with the guests that we have today. So, we are actually at the back of the yards coffee shop on 47th and Ashland. The exact address is 1621 West 47th Street. So we want to make sure that you guys know my name is Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Wise Alliance Network. And you can learn more about me at wisealliance network.com. And of course, we have our special guest here, Trisha. Super excited to have her here today. So, Trisha, can you introduce yourself to the viewers that are listening right now on WRMN 1410?
Yes, yes, of course. My name is Patricia Beltran. Everybody knows me as Trisha. I am an implementation consultant and growth strategist advisor at JMB Innovative Business Solutions and also the creator of Chingona y Poderosa, which is a growth initiative coming from that same consulting firm.
Nice. So the reason why we have Trisha here is because we've our paths have crossed multiple times. And I know that she has this amazing community and organization, and I wanted to support her initiatives. She had an event that just happened this past weekend, right? Tell us a little bit about the event that you just had. I think it was Saturday, right? At the opera, the Lyric Opera
Yes,
Theater.
yes, we had the event in partnership with Code Your Dreams, and the event was at the Lyric Opera on the 12th floor with Tech Nexus Chicago. The event is a movement and a way to help Latinas step into their power. I think that one of the biggest things that we forget is how to show up for ourselves and celebrate those small wins. And I want Chingona y Poderosa to be that hub where women feel poderosas and chingonas and they feel that they can step into that and just be themselves, show up as who they are and just, continue to step into their power.
So, for those that might not know what this word chingona means, right? Let's break down that definition. What does this actually mean when you say this person's a chingona?
Yes. So for sure, it means bad A. I don't know if I can swear on
No,
radio.
no, 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 sir. No.
But it comes from a very, you know, chingona in the Mexican culture has always been something that kind of is demeaning. I feel that when I was called a chingona, it was to put me down or to say that chingo mucho.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. My dad would say that, like, stop chingando, like,
yeah,
stop
eres bien
bothering me.
chingona.
Yeah, stop bothering me. Yeah. But I've also used it in a very positive context
Yes.
too, in the sense of, like, you know, work harder, or try harder, push harder, like, almost like push, right?
Yes, yes. And I think that I wanted to create the meaning from the more positive side because a lot of times when we are growing up, we're we feel that there's a lot of like contradictions about things, but if we're able to flip things into a positive aspect, I think that we can show up better.
Yeah. So you said you're an implementer, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about you what title did you use? I never, I think I've never heard you say this title. That's why I was like, wait, you caught my attention. What's the title?
Implementation consultant and growth strategy advisor.
So implementation and strategy advisor, right?
Yes,
So what exactly, I'm assuming that's in marketing.
correct. So it's all throughout. I think that one of the biggest things that we don't do is the follow through, right? It's so easy to say we're going to do something. It's so easy to put things out there, tell people our vision, but when it really comes down to actually doing the things, there's always that subconscious or what if people are gonna say, or all this other stuff that get in the way of us actually taking action. I think that my purpose is completion. Let's
Okay.
implement. Let's get it done, because once we do that, I really believe that that is a promise that you know give yourself, and when you're able to keep your promises, your confidence level rises.
Gotcha. So let's take it back just so that how did you fall into this arena of marketing? Because I know that's I mean, I'm in that world too, so I know that's not an easy area to be in, right? So how'd you fall into this area of marketing?
I think that I always say that I fell into an entrepreneurship. I never seek that. I always wanted that office job. I always wanted to be that person to, quote unquote, feel important, feel recognized. And when I started to understand that my voice had meaning, my voice attracted people, I think that's where I started to surrender and see and follow through on what that, you know, feeling of, because marketing to me is a feeling.
Okay.
So just being able to guide myself and move forward with the feeling, the intuition to amplify voices. I think that it comes from when I was a little girl, when I was told, calladita te ves más bonita, don't speak when you're not spoken to, you know, quédate allá, you don't need to be doing that. Do something that women do. Be a nurse, be that, And when people believed in my voice, when people saw what I can do, even before I saw what I can do, I think that that's when I started to trust myself, to
Okay.
trust that journey. And little by little, people will start to ask me, oh, how do you post on social media? How do you tell people about your product? How do you sell your offerings, and so on and so forth? So I think I kind of fell into it from the love of connecting with others.
I love that you said that marketing is a feeling. Marketing is a skill. Like not everyone got this skill. Let me just say this right now, all right? If like similar to you, I think I don't know how the heck I fell into marketing actually. It was because I studied sociology. So like
Okay.
my undergrad degree has nothing to do with marketing, but for some reason all my businesses, everything like you learn, and then I worked at a lot of internship companies that or worked for marketing companies. Again, like I guess it's just a skill that you kind of pick up and you're kind of like once you're good at it, it'll never leave you. It's one of those things like as much as I tried running away from marketing, it always follows me. It's like, damn it, get away from me. Like I don't want to be the marketer, but how do I fall into this marketing sphere every single damn time, right? No, but I'm just joking. All jokes aside, right? So you've been doing this. How long have you been an entrepreneur now?
It's going to be 7 years.
Wow. So it's like marriage, right? When you hit 7 year mark, you're in it, you know? No, just joking.
No, it's so true though, because so many times I wanted to quit. I'm like, ya no puedo, because it's so hard. The roller coasters that you go through,
Oh God.
the heartbreaks, the trying to advocate not just for yourself but for your business. It can be, demeaning. You can feel that pressure on yourself, but I think that when you're able to lean into the pressure, and I think you said it perfectly, go through the emotions, it's, things that are meant for you will find you.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, because there has to be a. I agree with you, right? There has to be like a why hooked on real strong because it is a roller coaster. There are ups and downs. There are ups and downs. So we have to be able to just kind of hone in on them. Like, if this is really what you're passionate about, like kind of dig your heels into the dirt and kind of just stick through this, right? Um, so you mentioned something that I think is a great thing to talk about because I think a lot of women struggle with this, right? The whole just be quiet, especially in the Hispanic community. You said what did you say? Estás más bonita calladita, right? But you're more prettier when you're quiet is a common phrase said. So I'm super excited to hear more about like what exactly you meant by that. Like, how do you help women come out of that show?
Ooh, that's a good one because sometimes I don't know how to help somebody come out of that. It has to be them and being able to willing and being able to step into that, step into the transformation, step into understanding what is it that drives them. And I think that
And I think this is great. I want to keep it, but I know we're gonna take a quick break real quick. And when we come back, we're going to finish this thought process. So make sure you don't leave. Stay tuned.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800 433 3082. 800 433 3082. 800 433 3082. That's 800 433 3082.
Does your car need a shine? At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they make it quick, easy, and spotless every time. And they're open 24/7 for your convenience. Right now, get a free car wash just for joining their text club. Text BRITT to 30400 and enjoy a free car wash. Visit Britain's Touchless Car Wash at 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin or at 555 Willow in West Dundee. Britain's, caring for your car while caring for our community.
They were best friends, inseparable, in fact, until the day Miguel died. Every day his friend visited Miguel's grave. Rain, wind, weekends, holidays, every day. Miguel's closest friend, Capitan, his German Shepherd, is a symbol of loyalty to which we can all aspire. Loyalty. Pass it on from passiton.com.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
All right, we are back. You are watching and listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. You can go to WRMN1410.com to learn more about all the shows that are on the station. And if you're looking to advertise with WRMN, please reach out to me so that we can help you get your company moving out there and we'll promote to the audiences. But as far as we're talking right now with Trisha Beltran, who is the owner. What's the company name again?
JMB Innovative Business Solutions.
JMB Innovative Business Solutions. And you are also the founder of Chingonas and Poderosas, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
So tell me a little bit about now how you overcame this thought of, we were talking about earlier before we went on break, you know, you're prettier when you're quieter, right? Like, don't show up, don't don't step into your power. How did you figure out how to transition from this little girl that was always told to be quiet to like this woman now that you're a business owner and you're launching events and programs and businesses? How did you transition into that?
I was always very outspoken. My mom will laugh about how I never listened to her, even though she would say, haz esto, or do it this way. I never listened. Even at school, I was that C student that always was fighting with the teacher because I wanted to understand the concepts of what they were teaching instead of just being, pushed something that I really didn't understand for it to be a concept. I think that around high school and when I had my first child is when I started to, adopt that calladita es te ves más bonita because of the fear of the spotlight, because of the fear of what other people would say, because I grew up with that, I grew up with que van a decir la gente, don't do that, don't do this. It's not common for you to do that, but somewhere I found the trust in my voice, the trust in just moving forward, and the trust in God that, He has a plan for me. And if I continue to surrender and, you know, trust that whatever is coming my way is meant to happen that way. I think, that is what que me empodera, that is something that makes me feel like a chingona y poderosa. When I trust myself, and when I can trust myself, then I can trust my clients. I can trust the collaborators and the partners that are attracted to this movement, because you have to be able to trust yourself in order for others to trust you.
Oh, I love that. That is such a good point, right? If you don't trust yourself, how are other, which is true, you have to believe in your product. You have to
Mhm.
believe in what you do. You have to believe in your marketing, because how are you going to get people to line up with you and say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm down," right? Like you had your event on Saturday, right? You had this event. How many people showed up? About
About, I think I counted 66
66 women in the same room, beautiful space with, techs, I forget their name.
tech nexus.
Text Nexus, right? Which is a co-working, co-sharing space, right? Above the Lyric Opera, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very historical.
Very historical building. I mean, I'm that person that loves old buildings and old stuff like that, architecture and stuff like that. So I thought I was like, oh, this is exciting, right? And then that event itself, right? You brought all these amazing women together to feel more empowered, right? To be more encouraged, to get more motivated. What was your afterthought after that event all took place?
Honestly, I was so honored, girl, to be able to stand with these women, to watch them step into their power. I think like we had MC Sarai James, we had a ribbon cutting with Renata Medina, we had Felicia come and do a liberation of body, Sherelle Slays. She was doing the keynote. I think that they all embody what Chingona y Poderosa is, what it means to step into your power, even though you're scared. And, you know, off the cuff, I kind of threw them all on there. It
You
wasn't
definitely did.
planned.
You threw me.
Yourself, you were the moderator. But it's because I trusted myself that this event was bigger than me.
Oh, very nice. Yes.
And being able to see these women light up, see the audience get emotional and empowered, I think that is integration in motion, girl.
Yeah, I think when you allow everyone to, which is a great leadership skill. When you allow people to step into their power and you don't get threatened, right? And I think that sometimes a lot of people in leadership roles get threatened by other people that maybe have this great quality or this, this ability that maybe you don't have, right? And but the fact that you can honor it and say, hey man, he or she is really good at this. Let me let them do their thing. Because when you asked me to moderate that panel, you were like, well, you do interviews all the time, you'll be fine. And I'm sitting there like, what am I moderating? I'm sitting there like, what is going on? But I knew you needed me to step up, so I stepped up for you, right? Which was an honor for me to moderate that panel, right? Amazing women that you have there. But I think I commend you for that, because that's a skill that a lot of leaders or so-called leaders don't have. They don't realize that, man, this person is really good. They thrive in this field. They thrive in this area. Let me let them flourish. Instead they're threatened, and they rather, instead of help someone flourish, they'll hold down their, try to dim their light, and it's unfortunate because it happens a lot.
It does. It does. And I think that when I was in corporate, I went through it a lot. So I know what it feels like to not be recognized. I know how it feels like to work so damn hard and then it not be appreciated by those that you're doing it. But I think that once we are able to understand that our life has a purpose, and if we continue to move forward with you know that seed that we plant as little kids, that contract, I feel like we all have a soul contract. We all come here for a purpose, for a reason. Nothing that we do is set in stone, so why not just live?
I love that we all definitely have a purpose. We all hear what, and I don't care what position or what you're doing. Everyone has a purpose. It could be, even if you're a mom, right? Moms have great purposes,
Yeah, our
right?
leaders as moms too.
Leaders as moms, because you're developing your children, developing, running your households, right? But or you're like a company, you're running a company, you're having businesses, right? You're helping other people, helping other leaders, helping market, right? That marketing skill is not an easy skill to have. So, right, like, people, like, if people understood, like, at the end of the day, the client's always right. That's how I see it. But, like, having these skills and abilities to help other businesses, that's a big deal, because there's people that really don't get it and don't understand how to do that, right? So that's awesome. And I just want to make sure, this cup of coffee, though, right here,
Yes.
very delicious,
Cheers,
from
girl.
Cheers, from Back of the Yards Coffee. I am drinking the Café de Olla. Café de Olla, it is delicious. I love Café de Olla.
Yeah, it reminds me of my grandma. I think that sometimes there's a lot of things that are we go through the motions of life, but we never take the time just to breathe, to feel, to understand this moment right now. Like right now I am just embracing the spotlight, being able to sit here with you. Oh my god, Jennifer, you are such a you're a powerhouse girl, and to be able to share my story, because that's what marketing is about, storytelling, and being able to share your story authentically with the truth, no matter what you feel about it. That's the truth, and somebody needs to hear that. And I really, really believe that we are all here for a purpose.
All right, guys. I love what she's saying. We're gonna take a quick, short break, and we're gonna get to know Trisha more after this brief break. So stay tuned.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed an executive order Thursday allocating $20 million to support food banks across the state, anticipating increased demand as nearly 2 million Illinoisans risk losing SNAP benefits tomorrow. The funding will help 7 food banks that supply over 2,600 pantries statewide, addressing widespread food insecurity, including 1 in 5 households in the Chicago area. Pritzker criticized the federal government, saying the the loss of benefits is a political move that leaves families, seniors, and people with disabilities without crucial support. The state will work with food banks, grocers, and community organizations to provide relief amid the federal cuts. A fire destroyed a house in the 400 block of Grant Place in Aurora early Thursday morning after flames broke out in the attic. Police helped evacuate 2 residents and their dogs, but smoke prevented clearing the remaining units. Firefighters battled the blaze, conducted searches, and performed extensive overhaul due to fire hidden in void spaces. The home was declared uninhabitable, and utility companies and the Red Cross assisted displaced tenants with shelter. Ahead of Batavia High School's playoff game against Hoffman Estates High School tonight, District 101 issued guidelines to promote a positive, respectful, and inclusive environment. Fans are encouraged to cheer for their team in good plays, but booing, swearing, public intoxication, and targeting individual players or referees are prohibited. Violating the rules may result in removal from the game or suspension from future events. The game starts at 6 p.m. tonight at Bulldog Stadium with tickets available at the door or online. Naperville will host its annual Field of Healing Honor from November 7th to November 12th, featuring hundreds of American flags to honor veterans and service members. The display aims to include at least 2,205 flags, with a ceremony on November 6th at Rotary Hill to kick off the event, highlighted by a daily performance of taps at 5 p.m. A Veterans Day observance will take place on November 11th at 11 a.m. Residents can purchase flags to be included in the display to honor a veteran or service member. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage. Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans. Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When disaster strikes, flood or fire, every second counts. At Emergency Construction Group, they specialize in immediate response and same-day service for any residential, commercial, or industrial emergency across the Chicagoland area. With over 30 years of experience, they've got the expertise, manpower, and equipment to handle any size loss fast. They follow strict IICRC guidelines to restore your property the right way, the first time. Their team values transparency, constant communication, and strong ethical standards because your peace of mind matters. Licensed, bonded, and insured, they're here for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Call 855-4ECG now. That's 855-432-4669. Or visit their website at emergencyconstructiongroup.com. And let Emergency Construction Group put your life back together one step at a time. That's Emergency Construction Group. Your satisfaction is their passion.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. Today, sunny with a high near 59. Temperatures falling to around 52 in the afternoon. Windy with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 35. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high near 61. Currently, it is 55 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
All right, we are back live. This is Jennifer Sanchez. You are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show. We are super excited here with Trisha again. And you guys remember you're listening to WRMN 1410 AM. If anyone's looking for any advertising, just let me know. Feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, or reach out to the station directly to see if you get your advertising needs met. But let's continue the conversation with Trisha. Trisha, tell me, we were talking about, how you stepped into your power, how you're now an entrepreneur. You just did this event at the Lyric Opera, highlighting all these beautiful entrepreneurial women, right? Um, Now, what is in store for you? What are some goals that are happening for whether it's your marketing company or for, the Chingona Poderosa entity?
Oh, that's a very good question because I keep praying about it. What's next? What's next? And I think what's next is to continue, right? To continue to foster the growth for Latina women, but also to I think that the next thing that I want to do is more retreats, leadership retreats, and I want to maximize on the consulting firm. So I really don't know, I don't know. I feel like I'm usually guided by when I'm journaling or just by what other people are looking for. I always look to my audience to see what they want. And a lot of them are asking for more events, more gatherings. We want to gather more and learn. We want to learn how to direct their traffic, all these other things that I try to be very loud about. um so yeah, so the answer is like I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait for the answer.
I think sometimes what I like about something you said earlier was you just got to be, you said, I'm here and I'm experiencing this experience right now, right? And that brought my mind the yes energy. I don't know if you've ever heard of the yes energy, but I'm a big believer in the yes energy. So the yes energy essentially is, right, an opportunity comes, you say yes, right? Right? Don't think about, oh, this might happen, that might happen, I don't have money or this or that, right? You just say yes and figure it out later.
Mhm.
And that has always been like one of the things that has helped me. Like people are like, well, how did you get over here? How did you? I don't know. I just said yes, right? Like,
Yes.
you know, and I was open to receiving. And that is where, like, I think God really does his magic when you're in that mindset of, I'm open. Let me try this.
Mhm.
Let me experience this. And that's kind of been my playbook all my life. So
Mhm.
it seems like it's similar to you. You're kind of just open,
Yes.
right? And let me, yeah, yes, right?
Yes.
Let's make sure we say that. Yeah, but it sounds like that's where you're also at because you're like, I told you about this yesterday, the show yesterday. I was like, you want to do the coffee chat show? And you're like, yes. I was like, perfect, But so many times people will hinder themselves or stop themselves because then they start thinking about the what ifs.
Mhm.
What if this goes wrong? What if this doesn't work out? What if, I'm too scared, right? Right. Which is a big deal with the entrepreneurship side. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's knowing when to say no. Uh, Many times we want to say yes to everything, but we never take the time to stop, breathe, celebrate that somebody actually acknowledged, to be on this, spotlight or whatever it is. Somebody acknowledged and saw you. It's a recognition. And it's our ownership. It's under our control to say no and to actually, is this what I want to do? And whether the answer is yes or no, stepping fully into that yes. Because if it's not a heck yes, then it's a no.
Love that. I love that. And you're right. You're right. You can't just say yes to everything. Now that I'm sitting there like, no, 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 no. I can't say yes to everything. You're right. But for the most part, opportunities, right, that are in alignment with
Correct.
you. Because so many times I'm like, something presents itself to me and I'm like, and if my heart like you kind of feel it in your spirit, you're like, I do like that, right? Then
Mhm.
you're like, yeah,
Mhm.
instead of like the what ifs, right? But I like that you put that out there. The way you put it out there was nicer than what I said. um, so I know that you're doing the what are your top tips if anyone's watching, right? Because you made a comment earlier about content and branding, right? Like if someone was trying to figure out how to put themselves out there and brand themselves, what would be like what's one of your main tips that you share with your clients?
One of my main tips that I share is understanding yourself. Understand what drives you. What are your values? What's your vision? Why are you doing what you're doing? And it could be as little as I want to be better or as big as I want to impact the world, you know? But understanding why you're doing everything and being intentional about it. You said something, like, does it align with you? And if it does align, being intentional with it, showing up and being present, putting all that love into that thing. I think that that's my number one tip, the love, putting all your heart into what you're doing because it will show. People want to feel what's real, what's authentic, and what's you because nobody can be you.
Nobody. Absolutely. Because everyone has, yeah, absolutely. I love that. Being real and
Yeah.
authentic. I love
And
that.
and if I may, I think that there is always one person out there that cannot have their transformation without you or me. So we have to be so intentional
I
with
like that.
what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we're showing up because that person needs us.
Oh, I
They're
love that.
waiting for you. They're waiting for you to say yes and trust yourself. So if I can instill one tip, it's just trust yourself and just go with it. You only live once. Just the worst that can happen is you failing and learning a lesson.
Oh, yeah. And we get
That's
those.
the
And
worst.
that happens all the time. You will get a lot of L's in life, right? But it could be lessons, not don't see it. I remember I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, oh, what if this goes wrong, right? Like of a thing that I'm dealing with right now. What if this goes wrong? Well, my friend was like, Jennifer, it's a win-win situation. Whether you're gonna learn a lesson or and you're gonna win, no matter what, it's a win-win situation. I said, thanks. Sometimes you don't want to hear that, but I get it. Um, I love the fact that you're saying like it's all about the alignment, trusting yourself, and sometimes, right? I'm gonna take this into another like level of conversation, I guess, because a lot of women and men don't trust themselves, right? And that could be based off like let's say upbringing, right?
Mhm.
Because if you, especially if you're in, if you grew up in maybe an abusive home or you grew up in an environment that wasn't so supportive, right? So that those messages, right, that underlying tone sometimes is you're not good enough because you're always being scolded, you're always being told you can't do it. And I've seen this, right, where people are like they don't trust themselves because they don't know how to move because someone all their life has always been kind of pushing down on them, belittling them, making them feel a certain way, right? So the fact that you're saying trust yourself, how does one trust themselves, right? To say, man, especially if they've gone through something like that, right? Like they can't, grew up in a toxic environment. How do you start trusting yourself?
Keeping your promise. I think that's the one thing that I learned from my coach Sonia Saunders from Mujeron is keeping your promise. The only way that you can trust yourself is doing what you said you were going to do because when you don't exercise, for an example, and you said I want to start exercising because I want to feel good, and you don't do it, you know that you won't do it the next time you say that, so your level of confidence is going to decrease. But if you actually show up and do the exercise for even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, now you trust yourself, okay, I was able to do that. So in every moment that you feel like you can't, you have to push yourself to do it, especially if your heart is telling you do it, move forward, let's go. Like the minute that you're like, oh, no, it's not for me, no, I can't do that, no, I'm not going to do it, and you don't listen to that voice, that's why so many people don't trust themselves because they listen to that voice of what other people are saying, and they can't take that out of their mind. But when you can push past through that and know deep down that you are meant for that and you are here for a reason, you will continue to trust yourself because you continue to show up regardless of what the circumstance is.
That's good. I like that, especially the fact of keeping the promises to yourself, right? That's
Mhm.
really good because sometimes people don't know how to do that.
Nope. Nope. It's hard to keep your word, right? But
Yes.
I try to pride myself in being a woman of my word because a lot of times people have failed me, said, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do that for you. But what really stung me the most wasn't what others did or didn't do for me. It was what I didn't do or do for myself. I think that's what, hinders the growth when we aren't truthful enough with ourselves of what we actually want. And instead of living somebody else's dream, we have to trust that we are here for a reason, and that if we keep moving with that intentionality, things will start to lighten up and we'll gain that trust in ourselves to keep showing up, to keep stepping into our power, and to keep impacting others.
Yeah, yeah. I can totally relate to that because one of the biggest things I'm a firm believer is my word. Oh, all I got is my word,
Yeah.
right? So if I don't pull through, if I don't make things happen, that falls all on me.
Yeah.
And not that I say I don't trust humanity. I
I
mean,
trust ya.
like my trust is in God, right? 100%. So that first and foremost is that, and then trusting myself, right? And I've learned over the years that people are gonna fail us all the time. Like and it makes life easier understanding that there's that human component in other people, so making sure that you trust yourself, like I got me. Like if they don't got me, that's fine. Yeah. But as long as I got me, I don't care what they doing. So I love that. Just to piggyback on what you're saying, right? Um, when we were at your event on Saturday, one thing that also a lot of people hold themselves back is because of the fear component, right? And how so many people won't chase those dreams or pursue those dreams because deep down they're fearful, they're scared, right? And I've always said this, right? Hey, when you're experiencing fear and you know you're supposed to do that thing, you have two choices: either run or just push through, right? And usually when I'm scared, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's my sign to push through right now.
Yeah. You always have a choice.
When I know I'm scared, there's a reason. So let me just push through and bygones be bygones. Things are gonna fall the way they're supposed to fall, no matter what.
Yes, yes. And it también, sometimes when people fail us, they're not failing us. They're just being intentional and aligning to what is true to them.
Yeah.
So when things don't happen the way they're supposed to, that's a blessing in disguise. And it's
I
hard
like.
to see that when things are not going the way they're supposed to be going. The way that I'm a project manager at heart. So I feel that
Oh,
when
you have a great skill.
when-
Those project managers are great.
but when things are not going the right, we shift. We have to be able to pivot because it's a sign that things are not supposed to go that way.
Mm.
So I think that in project management, the scope creep and all that is just a sign to pivot.
I like that. I like that. You put your project manager hat on right now.
I did.
You did. You did because I love people that have that ability, especially like because I'm sure based on what you said, you're very strategic, right? You have systems, right?
Mhm.
Um, so like me, I'm the creative, right? Let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, blah, 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 or and then I need people to like hone me in. Like, hold on, Jennifer, let's put a system down. Let's put this, make this habitual, right? So I always need my people to keep me on track too. But you, with what you just said right now, it's learning how to pivot. So this is not going the right way. What's I'm assuming you have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Like that's the type of person you are.
No.
No? Okay.
No, no, no. I don't. I learned to leverage. I think Sarai will love that I said that. I
Leverage. Okay.
leverage what is around me, leverage the people that I have around me because I needed to pivot with the event. My grandma passed away on Tuesday. That was so hard to not just accept, but to move forward. Someone that, when the doorbell would ring, my mom used to always tell me that I would run under the table, I would run under the bed to hide because I didn't want people to see me for whatever reason. But I think that when we're able to pivot from, whatever that circumstance is and lean on others and allow others to help us, we can orchestrate something so
I
beautiful.
like that leverage and use other people's abilities and skills to help you, which is that's good. I love that. So if anyone, I'm just curious, if someone's trying to get in touch with you and they want to get to know more about what you're doing or learn more about Chingonas and Poderosas, where would they go?
They could go to trishabeltran.com, and you can email me at trisha@trishabeltran.com, and or follow me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram, and that's at Trisha Beltran.
Trish, Trisha
Yes,
Beltran.
correct. That's
Oh,
correct.
I'm glad I did that correctly. Beltran, I thought Beltran's a Latino last name, but it's also I've seen a lot of Asians with that last name too,
Yes.
Filipinos, right?
Yes, that is my married name. Ironically, my maiden last name is Reyes.
Oh, Reyes. Okay,
Yes.
very nice, very nice. Just that I don't know why that came to my mind. That was just a random comment right there. So, what other events do you have coming up for? I know you said that you were considering doing retreats. Do you have anything in the forefront coming up for Chingonas Poderosas?
I do, I do. We have a boot camp coming up. The date is tentative, and I'm going to be releasing virtual and in-person workshops. I want to start giving away all the golden nuggets, what they call. Like, I don't want to be that gatekeeper. I'm going to just pour all my love into these workshops because I want Latinas to grow. I want to see more the 1% grow, of all these statistics that say, I think those are opportunities to grow. So for if I'm able to use my voice and teach others everything that I know, imagínate what can be possible.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. And I don't know if, I mean, when you keep pouring into someone, especially when you, I don't know if you feel like you have the teacher in you or the spirit of teaching in you, right? It's very satisfying and rewarding to see your proteges, to
Yes.
see them grow, to see them do more than you, to, like I always say, like I want, if I pour into somebody, whether it's someone like a woman in my women's community or a student, I want, if I see them become greater than me, I am satisfied. I'm
Mhm.
happy. I want to see someone grow and become better than me. What's the point of having all this knowledge and not share it with anybody?
Yep, yep, yep.
It's seriously, right? Like it's almost like, yeah, you're gonna die with all that information. Congrats, you're the best. you
Yeah.
know?
I think part of the having that wisdom is sharing it, right? And I think in the Latino community, it's so easy to not speak up about these things. But I don't want to be that person that keep like holds it. I think that, like you said, it's amazing to see people shine, and like at the end of the day, I want to be that lighthouse for these women who are in the dark out there in the sea, so they can see that light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to shine, and if you keep believing in that, and having the right resources, I think the anything's possible, girl.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. Anything is possible. I agree to that. I was gonna make a mention. My daughter, uh, an 18-year-old. I can't believe I have an 18-year-old. She just got a job at a nursing home as a server, right? super cute in a nursing home. So I'm like, okay, one of the biggest things I told her is like, look, all these elderly people are going to try to impart their wisdom into you, and they're going to try to learn, take advantage of those minds, right? Because they know that they're on their later days or their final days, right? In this nursing home. A lot of them, some of them are closer than others, right? But at the end of the day, they know that, it's you're at the finale stages, right? They're going to want to impart all their wisdom, and you are there. You be a sponge and learn as much as you can from these people, because they're going to teach you history and knowledge. And I'm sitting there excited for her.
Yeah, I love that you brought your daughter up. Fun fact, JMB is my daughter's name. So Gianna Melanie Beltran. I just have to throw that out there because she will be so mad at me if I did it. She's always like, tell them what JMB stands for. And also, another fun fact, I also was a CNA. I was on the verge of becoming a nurse because my mom said that that's what women do, become a nurse, you know, do something that's going to make you money. And I agree. You know, they're the elderly are about to transition, so they're going to give you all the tips. I think I learned so much working for those 4 years at nursing homes, emergency room, the hospital, taking care of them, because I feel that sometimes we forget about our elderly people, and I saw firsthand how they were forgotten. And for me to be that person to help them transition was just, it was just, so fulfilling for me. Um, so yes, tell your daughter to absorb all of that, all of it.
I love that, and I didn't know that. But again, if that's so cool, I didn't know that, but it makes sense. I could see your persona in that arena too, though. Like work really well. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you again, where would they go? Remind them, where would they go?
You can follow me on Instagram at Trisha Beltran. You can send me an email at trisha@trishabeltran.com. And follow my Instagram, chingona_e_poderosa.
Chingona_e_poderosa.
Yes.
So you guys have it. Thank you so much, Trisha, for
It was
being
such
with
an
us.
honor.
It was so much fun. And this coffee, guys, make sure you visit Back of the Yards Coffee Shop on 47th and Ashton. They have phenomenal coffee. I'm getting thumbs up from my team that this is great. You are watching the Wise Coffee Chat Show. This is Jennifer Sanchez. Want to learn more about me? Go to wisealliancenetwork.com. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you, and see you next week.